I have a theory that there really are no true theists. That all these people who profess a belief in God really don't believe in God. I mean, believe in the truest sense of the word. They are emotionally afraid, and so they, play the game because they're like, well, what if I'm wrong? And what if there is a God? I'm going to get screwed. And basically, I think they have a perception, a dependency on the idea that there is no justice or morality in the world if humans aren't controlled by these rules. That somehow you have to be told not to do something or you're going to do it. Like somehow we are naturally, cheating, murderous monsters, and that, if we don't have this good book to tell us it's wrong, we can't figure that out, or we can't act in a civil manner. That's part of it. And part of it is just a childhood dependency. It's almost like the whole abortion thing. They get all hysterical about this organism, which human is, that at birth isn't any more sophisticated or complex in terms of its consciousness and its capacity to feel than the animals we do laboratory experimentation on. So the hypocrisy is so obvious, but it's like, I have to admit, like maybe like many people, I have a hard time throwing a stuffed animal in the garbage. Rationally and logically, you know what it is, but it represents something. It has a symbolism. Maybe they're only glass eyes, but they're eyes, and they make you, they endear a feeling, and that feeling is compelling. And so, these people, these theists, they are acting on feelings, not their best judgment, not logic, but feelings and emotions. And that's their commitment, and it's not about the ideology, because you see the weakness and the their faith, their devotion is just so corrupt. If I actually believed in God, there's no way I wouldn't want to be the best God believer around. I would be competing, as with everyone else, to be, the best Christian or the best Muslim or whatever else that I could be, because I would want to please my God. And obviously people take the shortest and easiest route. Even the fundamentalists, they're greedy and they're selfish. It's so transparent and obvious. They have, $1,000 suits and jewelry and all this nonsense, and yet they're professing to believe in a Jesus who would have, laughed at them and said, "What the hell? You're mocking my God. You're not respecting my God. Where did I say you buy yourself a $1,000 suit and adorn yourself with jewelry? Where?" I said exactly the opposite. I said, give up all your worldly goods and follow me. I gave you analogies of, do birds have $1,000 suits and jewelry? No, but somehow God provides for them. That's the analogy I gave. I said to you, invest in God. God will take care of you. Even if he kills you, it's his plan, and he'll take care of you. So if you walk into the wilderness with no food and no money and no anything, naked, God will provide. That's what Jesus Christ was saying. I think he was saying something a little different, besides what it literally says in the Bible. I think he was saying basically is that yes, we came from somewhere, and that somewhere we came from was more primitive than where we exist now, but humanity survived, and that we don't need to create this artificial life. We can live a life with nature. I mean, he was a friggin' hippie, for Christ's sakes. He was, he didn't have a home. He believed in just, living off the land and living off what people you can find who will take care of you. And but regardless, I'm just saying there's just no evidence that any of these Christians believe any of that crap. I mean, it says 7 times in the Bible, the odds of getting into the kingdom of God or whatever are those of, for a rich man, are those of the, camel going through the eye of a needle. I mean, he made it as clear as he could make it that, you got a slim chance of getting into heaven if you're rich. I mean, unless, of course, you get incredibly rich and you do something incredibly good with that money, you're screwed. And all these people, they all know they're rich by Jesus' standard, and yet they deny it. They pretend they're not, because it's convenient. And so convenience destroys their faith. Their faith is they abolish their faith merely for convenience, not because it's threatening to harm them or hurt them or oppress them to serve God, but because it's fucking inconvenient to serve God. I mean, how weak can you get? So in arguing, religion, I mean, the other element to this thing is that by nature people, I guess, are control freaks. I mean, they fucking think they've got to manipulate and control everybody else, and they're so, I mean, this might sound to some people, a little far-fetched, but I think the whole abortion controversy is about one thing. They are, the Christians have committed themselves to, a theology, a morality, and in doing so, they resent other people having freedom they can't use. It's that simple. They are jealous. They are jealous of promiscuous sex. They don't want people having free sex because they can't have it. They don't want people having sex without the burden of, snotty-nosed, bratty shit kids, because they can't make that choice. And, it is just so petty and so childish and immature of people to behave that way. I mean, we all have we're all sour grapesy sometimes, and we're all saying, we're all a little resentful of what other people have and all that stuff. But to imagine that these people would oppress other people and suppress their rights because of their own friggin' jealousy. I mean, it's ugh. But I mean, I'd like to believe that the Christians are, honest, and that they sincerely wish to do other people good. But the evidence just indicates that's not their game, because it doesn't make any sense at all. You see it all the time. It's so transparent. Yes, they weep and cry and wail and kill people over abortion, and yet they'll spit on a homeless man. I mean, it's just so obvious, that they don't give a damn about life and people. It's about, the symbols. It's all symbolism. They symbolically make gestures to God, and they will sacrifice other people's rights on the altar of their God. They will take other people's rights and throw them in the fire, and throw them into their the metaphorical volcano. Sacrifice the virgin of other people's rights and freedom, because they won't sacrifice anything of their own. And that's the incredible hypocrisy. Jesus didn't demand from you something. You take something from somebody else. He didn't say, go suppress your neighbor to serve me. No, he said, make yourself a better fucking person. Deal with yourself first. Okay? And mind your own fucking business. But that's not what Christians do. That's not what these Muslim, Islamic folks do. They're all about sacrificing other people's freedom, to their God. And it's just so, and so that's where this argument between atheism and religion, that's why there's some hostility, for me anyway. That's why it's important, because that's the game. And that's time's up.